Hey, ya, YouTubers, Tasman here, bringing you another episode of Obsidian for TTRPGs. And in our last episode, we kind of explained that everything that's up past ZZ admin really isn't needed. You could have any files, whatever you want. It's just to link, just so we have examples of linking and stuff. And some of it might actually kind of be considered the copyright material from Abomination Vaults. I didn't want to really mess with that. So if you didn't see the previous video, that's kind of what we went over. We went over exactly what is in those other folders and how they're really quite insignificant. So, one second. In this episode, we're going to go more in depth into the fantasy stat blocks. And I was thinking one of the best ways to really kind of understand its power and stuff is to go through the help page and just kind of show off what it has. And then maybe if I'm feeling ambitious and brave, we might try even create our own stat block, or at least go through the different components so that you can understand them more deeply. So let's go ahead. We're going to go in, make sure everything's all updated. So there's the three areas. Remember, there's appearance. We can click check for update there. Doesn't look like there was anything it did. Check for updates right here with our actual version. And then the community plugins. Doesn't look like there's any updates. So we're going to go into browse. And why does it say none? Alright, I'm kind of confused now. Is something not working right? I might have to go look at some stuff real quick. This was working just a minute ago. Maybe there is updates and it's just not even showing me. And it says 13 plugins installed. When I come in here, it says nothing. Oh, failed to load community plugins. I'm not sure why. I'm going to go ahead and pause right here and see if I can figure out what it is and get it fixed. So I will see you guys in a minute. Okay, so I'm not quite sure what the issue was. I was experimenting and stuff, couldn't find out what was going on with it. So I just re-downloaded the Obsidian installer and told it to install. I mean, it can't actually be any of our files because it's simple markdown. It's just plain text. There's nothing that really could get corrupt in there because it's just interpreting plain text. And if it finds certain characters, it, formats it differently. So I did update the actual executable by just re-downloading it. So if we go in here now, when we click this, you'll actually see it says no themes found. Go here, no updates found. You'll see we're actually at 1.5.1 is our current version. The installer version's 1.4.16, which is what I downloaded. And if we go to community plugins, now it actually says there is a plugin that has an update. In fact, it's Fantasy Statblocks. Go figure. So looks like that's done. So let's go into browse, and now we're seeing more what we want to see. So we're going to go ahead and go into Fantasy Statblocks and just kind of go down this to kind of show you what it does and stuff like that. We're not going to read everything about it, but there might be things here that might be of interest. But this is what I don't remember, did I actually show you what a D&D stat block might look like? The 5e stat block will look like this. The horizontal rule is, I believe, a CSS thing that actually, if you imported this or told this to format in Pathfinder 2e's, these would have those other type of lines. The coloring and stuff would all be different. But this kind of gives you a good idea of what it can do. So as you can see here, that it works both with, just doing stat block, and then you just do monster, and then you give the SRD our homebrew monster name. or you can actually define it yourself and actually have it do that. Or as we've shown in the previous videos, that you can kind of mix and match. So if we had a goblin warrior here, but we wanted to change his name, we could just add this up there and get his name, and we could change his size and all this fun stuff. So we can change the individual things. What they're kind of showing is this is basically the same structure as our front matter up top that we've seen in the past, or our property files, or whatever they're called. So here you can see stats. This is the property name, and then obviously it's an array or a list or whatever they want to call it, and it's expecting a number, a number, a number, a number, and a number. So these are your, your strength, dex, constitution, wisdom, intelligence, and charisma. I don't know what FH stats are. There are 7 of those, though. Oh, 8, 9 of those. So whatever those are. But as you can see, this technically is kind of the same thing. So where we have the little colon and then we have the little list or the array, you can also do it this way as well. Like if we have a kind of an array or a list within a list. So this is saying that the saves, and then this will be kind of the description of save or the ability score name, and then this will actually be the value, so on and so forth. We kind of showed that you can use the dice roller with it. So as you can see here, you have various ways you can do it. You can do it, saying plus 15 to hit, and it will detect that usually and be able to actually render it for you, or parse it, I guess is probably a better word. Or you could give, a value there, and then in parentheses would be this. So this generally would be the one that is like its average or whatever, and we'll go over these later. And then also you can even do it as a save by saying, the type of save, and it will kind of go through and detect that. I think it goes into more detail on that in a little bit. And then I think when we were looking at the different settings in there, if you set the render to true, it will actually render dice on the screen for you. As a GM, especially if you're using it with like Foundry or Roll20 or something like that, you might be using the dice directly in their apps instead of this. So this isn't that big of a deal. It also has the image parameter, so you can, they don't have an image of that, but I showed you that in our other thing where I had the mitflit, and then I actually put the, I think it was called token. I'm contemplating if I want to go through it and lose this or not. So this is where it's talking about you can override the fields. So you have the monster. This is the actual monster name. And then you can give it its own name. And you'll see here in the stat sheet, or the stat sheet, it actually has changed its name. Then also, as you can see here, you can add to fields by the little plus here. So you can see it right here saying traits. So we're adding additional traits. This one is going to be called appended trait, and this is its description. And I think the extending I haven't used much, but basically what it does is it kind of, in this case, it's saying that it is extending our Parathranak with also a goblin, which will kind of almost blend the two together. Maybe we'll read this just because I think it's going to say it better. So the extends key can be used to extend an existing creature similar to the monster key shown in the overriding fields. The difference is the resulting monster is not combined. It maintains a link to the base creature. This allows you, for example, to create a named version of a goblin. Any changes to the base goblin will propagate to the extension. So it will change. If you change the base, it'll change the one that you're doing. This key supports a single creature name or or an array of creatures, which is what we're seeing here. This is extending a single creature name, or here is our array or our list. So by using the minuses, it in front matter, it tells it that it is a list. With any fields directly defined in the stat block taking final precedence. This field is also fully recursive. Extending a creature that extends another creature will cascade these extensions all the way through. Like I said, I've never really done anything with that. What I would recommend is play with it. Not all these things are things that I've actually dealt with a whole lot. I mean, traits, obviously. So with traits here, you can see this is a list, kind of a list, or a list of specific type things. So here we have our traits, and then you have the name of the trait and the description of the trait. Here's a second trait. You can tell by the little minus there, and you can see that this is the name of the trait, this is the description of the trait. So anytime there's a trait, it's looking for these two values. You can have as many as you want, but it's looking for kind of this format where it's the little hyphen, the word name, colon, and then whatever the name is, description, colon, whatever the description is. And a lot of your different things, spellcasting and stuff, kind of follows the same thing. You'll see that here we have spells. This is the name of the spell right here, or this is the description. Is this what I'm thinking of? Information about the spells, I guess is probably the best way to say it. Then we have our cantrips, and these are the cantrips. Here's our different spells. So we have the first level, we have 4 slots. So it's basically just going to output this stuff knowing that these are the cantrips, these are first level, second level, and it's looking for this specific thing. Then it has some nice little examples of different ones. So Fantasy Age, if you've used that, we have Fate, we have 13th Age, and this one they actually kind of show you a sample of the sheet. We have 13th Age. We have showing where we were talking about 1 or 2 columns. It'll force 2 columns like that. Kind of mentioned that before. Why is it? I thought I had a Pathfinder in D&D, unless it just decided 13th Age, 13. Oh, maybe it's because 13th Age has columns. So you can set the column width, column height. You can force the columns, which is that one field that we saw in there. I mentioned that. Then it goes in some good detail here, and I highly recommend reading this and trying to understand it. This is for adding your own beast to the bestiary. So one nice thing is you actually have this little 3 colon that'll pop up, and you can save it to a bestiary, or it's not going to save it to one that you might be pointing to, but it's going to save it to its own bestiary. And then also you can create your creatures up in the front matter at the top. I think I could have swore I had an example of that too. Let's see, is this the customizing CSS? This is just how it looks. Targeting a stat block with specific layouts, colors. This is more advanced stuff down here. But this is the part right here that I kind of want to go over. So when you're creating the layouts, there were those little things that said this is a trait, this is a property, this is that, the other. This is what it's talking about right here. So if we click on that, I think, it's just going to take us right here. You have those different things, and I think this goes through each of them. You have, I think this is it right here. So it tells you what those individual components are: the group blocks, inline blocks, heading blocks, subheading blocks, image blocks, property blocks. Where is the main part I wanted to talk about? The trait blocks. So this is kind of one of those tricky ones where it's actually an array of string values. And then here's where it actually shows you more about integrating the dice roller within your thing. And we'll go look at my I think the mitflit I actually have showing all the different stuff. I'm just seeing if this is about all I really wanted to do as far as this goes. I think it is. Yeah. So what I want to do is take just a moment here, and we'll go and close this and close this as well. We're going to go look at my, I think I have a mitflit that actually has like the image and stuff like that under mobs. So we have our mitflit, and can I open a second one? Yes, perfect. Although I want to move to a new window. No, well, I guess that works. I can just pull it over here. What I wanted to do is kind of show you what it looks like. That's not the one I wanted. Where is this? No, this. That's the one I was looking for. And this one. All right, so we're going to pull up the mitflit block right here. And it's, maybe if I do that, it'll push it over further. I want to get as close to the edge. And there's the example of when you have it forcing to 2 columns would be that. For just doing 1 column would do that. But I just wanted to see if I can have it just where it's going to start going big. And maybe I'll actually even move the window slightly this way. And we'll scroll them to right there. Oh, this one's not what I wanted. Okay, so here is our info on the mitflit. I'm going to go into the edit mode. And as you can see, we're just pulling in the mitflit. I forgot I was just pulling in the mitflit. So I'm going to have to go elsewhere. What's the quickest way to do that? Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to put the mitflit in this window. So we'll go here and we'll just do this. And then we can come over here. Bring that back there. I believe it is right. Fantasy Statblocks. If I go all the way down, I think this is where I have my mitflit. Let's see. I don't remember which one. Let's just search mitflit. So here we have our mitflit. This is the one I wanted. Edit. Well, I guess this works. I was hoping it'd be a little better. So here you can see where I'm doing some dice rolls. This is not going to work as I wanted it to. You know what? I got an idea. All right, let's do this. We're going to copy this. Control C. We're going to close that. So what is the best way to do this? I'm going to open up Notepad++ and paste that, and we'll go look at it from there. So I think if I go into here, new window, do this. Sorry. I just wanted to show you some of those things. So as you can see, we are forcing the columns to be 2. So unless the window gets absolutely too small for it, it will try and force 2 columns. So let's pull up this one and this one so I can have them both up at the same time. Move this guy just over a little bit. And there we go. All right, so as you can see, what I wanted to point out is, you know, these different points right here, like emotion. If we go in here, we can see that it's just a simple link to emotion. So it's linking to another part of our thing. And in this case, it's actually linking to our Pathfinder 2 core stuff, right? But if we come down a little further, where is some of, oh, they're up here actually. So you can see you can actually do your dice roll things here. We have acrobatics right here with the colon, and then I guess it doesn't need the plus on this because now we get plus plus. But this is kind of showing you, this is saying whatever I roll here, go ahead and put here. So if I click on that again, you know, you'll see that we actually get different values. Now, if I had the render dice, it would actually do it on the screen. But this is just the example. What it does is it's going to say, okay, this is what I'm going to roll, and this is where I'm going to place it. Now, if I don't have this, it will actually just replace the value there. And I believe if you mouse over it, you can actually see the information about what rolled. So here you can see we got a 10, which if we mouse over, you can see it's a 1d20 plus 5. So down below we rolled a 5, which is in the brackets, plus 5 gives us 10. If we kind of scroll down here, boy, everything has the double plus. I didn't do a very good job on this one. You can see, like, here's our abilities, and you'll see abilities top, which is in the coding or whatever. This is how it knows that this is going to be above this line, basically, right? If we go down to, where's abilities? Abilities bottom right here, which is the vengeful thingy. Where's the vengeful thing? Oh, it's going to be down here. It's going to know that that's going to be in this section. So basically, between this line and this is kind of your top, this is your middle, and down here is your bottom, which there's probably a middle in here as well. I don't remember exactly. But, oh, don't want to keep mousing over that. So anyway, this is kind of what I wanted to show you just really quick. And I think in the next little bit, maybe we'll try and actually do it. Here's the other thing where I was saying, here's our list of our little array here. Remember, it said it expects num, num, num. Well, if we did this inside brackets and then did a comma and stuff like that, it should work the same as well. But here you can see we got the -1, the 3, and it's automatically known because these are ability mods. It knows that the first one's going to be strength, the second one's dex, third is con, then int, wisdom, and then charisma. So I know this isn't extremely helpful, and I apologize for that. I mean, I'm trying to think of the best way to go over this, and I think just explaining this stuff might be good. And then if we come in here and actually look at an actual, you know, where is it? Pathfinder 2e layout for our bestiary type things, then we can get a better idea of what we're seeing here and what it's actually looking for. So like, here's our traits. If we go up, these are the ones that are the little blocks. But here's our little table of the strength, dex, con, win, int, wisdom, and intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. And then it's assigning, you know, whatever is in ability mods, it's going to put here. I know that's really confusing. I will try and think of even better ways to kind of describe it. But I think that might be one of our better things, is if we just come in here and actually try and create our own. Maybe it will make a little more sense. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a thumbs up down below. Aside from that, comment, like, subscribe. Click that little notification bell. Follow me on Twitter. Check out my Discord and my other channels. And don't forget to tell other people about my channel. Have them check it out. If they like what they see, they can sub. If you have any recommendations on how to kind of go about this, let me know. And that is it, my friends. Until next time, I'll be seeing you later. Bye.